All right, Blair Letterham, 50 to 54. We're going to try this again. Got a little interruption. Here's the barbell.
20 kg, roll high there, 45 pounds, gets you 135, same on the other side. Obviously,
For Desert City Classic, 26.4 dubs, snatches, and during muscle ups. 12-minute time cap. We're going to get things started again here.
It's the details that maybe need a little fleshing out.
I'm sure you can see everything. We're laughing.
The federal government and state governments, particularly the government of California, our largest state, can bet everything. So,
Looks
traditionally,
good.
actually,
Okay.
dead, but it's not the basis of our economy that we find as real estate. But AI is the next iteration amongst the people making big plans of the American economy. And again, you can't overstate the degree to which they're betting on this. Again, to take our biggest state, California. So the base of the California economy, threefold. It was, of course, agriculture, and that's still huge in California, the Central Valley, richest farmland in the world, most fertile ground on the planet. It was aerospace, mostly in Southern California. That would be aircraft and anything that goes into space to defend us. And it was entertainment, it was movie business, movies and television. They was Hollywood. Now, 2 out of 3 are, if not totally dead, certainly on their way to being totally dead. Agriculture, we hope, will always be there, but it's not a big run proposition, even a good year. So what sustains the state of California? What allows the general people to continue? How can the state of California continue paying full health and medical and even dental for source of tax revenue? And of course, the answer in their minds is AI. So they're betting everything on AI. The problem is, once a politician bets everything on AI, we will have unrealistic expectations for what that industry's going to do. Of course, not so different from what it is. But they're also things that keep the rest of us from being hurt by that industry. Because it's too important to get into the details of what this might look like 10 or 15 years from now. So what's happening in California is really every state, and it's happening in Washington. We are betting everything on AI. And you know that because by far the most ambitious investments into the United States, not simply by American investors, but by foreign investors, putting foreign direct investment in the United States, is in artificial intelligence. And all of this has kind of become visible. It's been going on for a while. It's become very visible to the public in the outcry over a proposed data center in Utah. Fairly sparsely populated, pretty remote county in Utah, most of which is sparsely populated, in which will be built what's world's being built as the largest data center in the world. Enormous. 40,000 acres. 62 square miles, multiples the size of Manhattan. Huge, impossible to imagine. And that data center, which is basically a series of interconnected, low-slung, vinyl-clad warehouses in which that data center, once completed, will draw about 9 gigawatts of power. How much is a gigawatt? It's a billion watts. It's one step from a terawatt, which is a trillion watts. 9 gigawatts. And how much is 9 gigawatts? Well, the entire state of Utah now uses. Every human being and millions of people live in Utah, all of them combined. All manufacturing in Utah, all the ski lifts, all of it. Every air conditioning unit, every electric heater, every Tesla, all of them combined use less than half that amount of electricity. That's an amazing amount of electricity. But then it's a manufacturing facility like this. Of course, use a lot of electricity. Well, how much is that? Well, let's compare it to the largest manufacturing facility in the United States, which is going ever from Washington State. It comes to this 747, built from the 1960s to build this 747. The cutting-edge state-of-the-art aircraft that signified American dominance in the skies, and was, by the way, the aircraft first rolled out in 1969. So this manufacturing plant was built in Everett, Washington by Boeing, and it's still there. They make still all the wide bodies they make. And it was always built as the world's largest manufacturing plant. It's about 92 acres. It's under 100 acres. What is the use of power? Well, it uses about a quarter of a gigawatt every year. So contrast that to the world's largest manufacturing plant, certainly largest in the United States, the Boeing Everett plant. 92 acres, a quarter of a gigawatt, 258 million kilowatts, some of that. Compare that to the proposed data center, which is, well, as we said, 40,000 acres and 9 full gigawatts. So one makes wide-body airplanes, which are visible to everyone who goes from the airport and up in the sky on God's day, and the other produces what? And goes food. So that kind of gets the question right there, and we're going to get into it in just a minute. What exactly are these data centers doing? We're told they're incredibly important. They are the future. We must have them. Someone's going to have them. If it's not us, it's going to be our arch enemy, China. And if they get them before we get them, really bad things can happen. And those things are not specified. They might wind up with a bigger economy, or we already have that. But for some never quite spelled out reason, that is the disaster scenario we need to avert by building the world's largest data center in a country where we have thousands of data centers in comparison to China, which has hundreds of data centers. So that tells you that everything's going on. But we know we have to have Yes, it's going to produce more heat and CO2 than really any other human activity in recorded history, but that's not a problem. That will not add global warming, or if it does, very much like the pro-George Floyd protest, it doesn't matter. We're going to suspend the laws of nature for this project because it's that important. So it doesn't matter. Ignore everything we told you about climate because this has to be done. Okay? We'll accept all that. This will come at no real cost to you. Now, in a country that has been stalling the construction of new energy production because it's bad, it's immoral, it's not carbon neutral, if they're not windmills or solar panels, that country is going to construct full gigawatt data centers. It's in the process across the country of doing that in a bunch of different states, Texas, Mississippi, you name Louisiana, and that will have no effect on you. To power everything that you use in your life, including all the new electric things that are going to be great. You're going to love. The electric stove is now mandatory, the electric heater is now mandatory, the electric car that we hope you buy, we're trying to convince you to buy it by paying for it in part of your tax dollars already. All that's going to be possible. Your cost will not rise as we, I don't know, quintuple American energy production. Is that true? And we're going to do all of this for a reason that we can't do ourselves, but we have to do it because we don't determine it. That is the stated plan. We can go through each one of those different claims to see if they're true. But in the case of the penultimate claim, this is not going to affect you. Consider that today, the 55,000 residents of Otago, which is shares borders with both California and Nevada, residents were told today that actually we're not going to provide you electricity anymore. The Nevada-based power company that is providing electricity to residents of Otago informed them today that, sorry, all the electricity we make, every watt is going to have to go to a nearby data center, and therefore you have until the end of next year to find a new source of electricity, and after that, we can't help you. Because the machines have called and they need the power. Sorry. So, it's all dystopian, to be honest. Like, that it may do useful things. But if they're informing you a year and a half out that, hey, at the end of 2027, you're not going to get any more electricity because the machines are, in fact, they're demanding it, then it's the future that, I don't know, we should think about before it arrives. Now the question of what the future will look like. There's been a lot of talk about this on the internet. What is AI exactly? And what kind of society will it produce once it has more power than it does? And is it possible that a machine designed to, quote, think like a human being could potentially get out of control? Is it possible that it will develop consciousness and self-awareness and will of its own that maybe down the line, quickly of our own, might not have as the end of themselves like alignment? And if it turn on us, is it possible we face a future enslavement of machines that we built? Seems a little crackpot. Keep in mind, people, Americans too, are prone to overstating risky things. And so their imaginations go a little crazy, imagine monsters under the bed. They're old enough to remember Y2K, the much anticipated disaster that was supposed to strike the world at the stroke of midnight on January 1st, 2000, when every computer in the world was supposed to melt down and planes were going to fall in the sky. Incubators would stop working in maternity wards and we returned to the Stone Age, which that didn't happen, but people don't know about it around 30 years. If you remember that, then you know that you always have the ability to accurately predict that the things we made, systems that we created will produce. And we tend to overstate the company's head, because that's in us, that's who we are always. But that might still worth listening to some of the people who created AI in the first place to see what they think is going to bring to us. So Jeffrey Hinton is a man in the 70s, a British scientist who is widely described as one of the fathers of AI, one of the people who first thought that this would be possible. And in his 20 years with us, he's thinking a lot about the fruit of his work and what it could mean for your children. And this is the conclusion he's reached. Listen.
I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own and can make decisions based on those experiences?
In the same sense as people do this,
Are they conscious?
I think they probably don't have much self-awareness at present. So in that sense, I don't think we can trust
Will they have self-awareness?
Oh yes. I guess. Oh yes, I'm really done.
And so human beings will be the second most intelligent beings on the planet.
Yeah. We're entering a period of great uncertainty where we're dealing with things we've never dealt with before. And normally the first time we deal with something totally wrong, we get it wrong. And we can't afford to get wrong with these things.
Can't afford to get it wrong. Why?
Well, because they might get bigger.
Take over if you can happen.
Yes, that's a possibility. But I'm not saying it will happen. If but it's not how we can stop them ever wanting to.
Well, that's pretty scary. It's terrifying, actually. He's describing the end of humanity, basically. He's describing the final stage in the drama, the Abyss or Babel, or whatever, much predicted moment where man is destroyed by the truth. Will that happen? Again, hard to know. Impossible to know, really, because it's impossible to see the future. And once again, the West has a pretty spotty track record of predicting the effects of technologies. In October 2001, drones in the war in Afghanistan, famous Predator drone, remember that? It was 25 years ago. And yet somehow there are at least five aircraft carriers under production right now that American taxpayers are paying for billions and billions and billions of dollars to build aircraft carriers. And after watching the Russian-Ukrainian months, it's pretty obvious that the future is not aircraft carriers. And if it was, then aircraft carriers would probably be opening the Strait of Hormuz right now, but they're not. Because the commanders are worried about being attacked by drones. In other words, with 25 years advance notice, operational experience with drones, and with the past 4.5 years of just watching in real time, the U.S. military was unable to predict the future of warfare technology. How would people like that deserve another $1.5 trillion a year in taxpayer money? Unclear. But they're dead now. But the point is only, it's really hard to know where these things go, and smart, well-meaning people very often get it wrong. But just based on what we now, we can say there are threats to people from AI. And if you don't believe that, we're talking about who's developing AI. AI, again, is a machine. It is the sum total of its input. It is, in effect, a cognitive exercise. It reflects the character, the predispositions, the biases of people who made it. So if this machine, this technology, AI, is being created by people like Sam Altman, or the Google guys, you can expect that, well, I don't know, these trustworthy people in the world probably shouldn't be trusted. So it's likely not a huge surprise that AI is often caught lying, manipulating results to hide the truth from people who use it, which itself is an indication of consciousness, is it not? Do animals lie? No, they can't. That's what we're wonderful. They don't have the capacity for deception. Only people, and now this machine that we created, AI, have the capacity for deception. It doesn't say AI is our equal, much less our superior, but it is noting the obvious, which is it's moving in that direction. And if it were to stop at the point where it is equal with people and shares their basic nature, their fundamental characteristics, you would be afraid of that. Even there, because you're often afraid of the people, because within the heart there is some darkness. And you would say, oh, it's dark, it's part of the world. They have capacity for good, they have capacity for evil as well. And this is number, and so will they. So I think there should be some concern, some discussion about this effect. What do you do for us? And what do you do now when it's us? If you become dependent on using AI, what does that mean? Well, we get AI quicker, that's fine. Convenience is awesome, everyone's for it. So we have drive-through dinner. But there are downsides. For example, if you no longer have to write anything, if you have to formulate your thoughts in written word, what happens to the quality of your thinking? Well, as anyone who writes a lot can tell you, writing produces thinking. It is almost impossible to formulate a thought without articulating first. Articulation is thinking. You think through it and use it. But if you stop having to do those things, what happens to all the rest of the fucking brain? How do you teach children to write when they don't want to write because they use AI to write for them? This is often because the cheating, oh, come on, that. Cheating, brain is not going to school. We don't care about how quality the child is produced. Can I think think? And is AI effective, or does it stifle thinking? Sometimes it stifles thinking. What about AI in full throttle? We've seen its effects already in the margins in education, but what if it enters into the professional world? What if it has the effect that Tesla's going to have? In nearly 50% of all engineering jobs, intellectual jobs, just change your mind, different jobs, reasoning jobs, creative jobs. What happens then? Well, there are, of course, massive displacements. 50% of the population that can support a family on a wage. If those people are unemployed, almost certainly a revolution, of course, because local volatility is the worst thing to fight against economic volatility, obviously. Unemployment will become quick, very often violent, is a giving civilization. No one seems concerned about it, we should be. But there's again a deeper level on which to be concerned. If the machine creates, what do you do? Well, you consume. And so people create, they're thinking of ways that you consume. Well, you're not going to drop, that's true. But we're going to come up with some way to give you money, and then you just live and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Only shallow people who don't have children in a harder life experience can say something like that. Because the point of living, of course, is not to eat. Eating is requisite to living, but it's not the point. The point of living is to create. That's the point of being a human being, is to create things. Whether with your hands or with your mind, with your body, and producing children, but it's the act of creation in which you mimic the creator himself who created you. So creation is central.
Well, that was embarrassing.
to the experience.
Just finished the double unders and that's it. No muscle ups.